introduced to rap music. I've been missing a screw like Bishop and Juice. I could lose it.
What is up, my fellow hip hop heads and music lovers in general? My name is G-Benz and welcome back to my channel where every Friday I listen to whatever new album comes out by an artist that I really like in hopes that you guys will give them a chance and in hopes that I can get you guys into some new music. So I know today is Saturday. It's it's a it's a long story. I got one more week left in that summer program, and then after that, videos will go up on Friday. I promise you guys. It's been a crazy 6 weeks, but you know what? I made it through. I got one more week left, and can't wait to do it again. Fucking next summer. So yeah, today I'm reviewing an album that came out yesterday, and yes, album, just one, singular. No 3 albums today, no 4 albums today, just one album. So let's enjoy this very rare moment where I get to upload only one video on Friday/Saturday when a new album comes out. So let's get right to it. So as you can tell by the title of the video, today I'm going to be reviewing the new album by Nas called The Lost Tapes 2. And Nas as in the New York rapper, not Nas as in N-words ain't shit. Fucking, oh my god, that shit made me so mad. Like, when that phrase Nas like started blowing up, I thought at first, oh shit, people are like starting to like Nas, like the rapper Nas, and then I found out real quick that it wasn't that, and I was like, well, what other stupid shit can we fucking make up with fucking words? It's so stupid. But I don't want to get into that. But yeah, The Lost Tapes 2. It's been, I want to say, like almost 17 years, like maybe just 16 years. It's been 17 or 16 years since the first installment of the Lost Tape of the Lost Tapes came out in 2002, and unfortunately at that time, you know, pretty much what the original like Lost Tapes is pretty much like a bunch of like unreleased tracks by Nas from like different albums that he dropped. You know what I mean? And at the time, you unfortunately were only able to listen to those unreleased tracks in very, very like bad quality. Like through mixtapes, through leaked audio files. Because at the time, like you didn't really have like a platform like Apple Music or Spotify or Pandora. You know what I mean? To listen to some new shit, to listen to some like albums, to listen to some new songs by artists, and it was hard. I can't imagine like myself trying to listen to all these like new artists and like not being able to know like where the fuck I can like hear them from. You know what I mean? And at that time, record labels were like really shit on like trying to what's it called? On trying to like protect music and trying to like make music to be like for the fans and not just for fucking making money and shit. And so at the time, Nas, he was a part of Colombian, I think, no, not Colombian, Columbia, what part of Columbia Records, and then he eventually got switched over to Def Jam, and then from Def Jam he would go to make his own record label called Mass Appeal, and then that's when like record labels started getting a lot more better at like at like protecting the music that artists make and all that shit. So yeah, that's pretty much a whole like big history on the original Lost Tapes. Now as for me, when it comes to Nas, I'll be honest that I like he's kind of growing on me. You know what I mean? Like I think these past 2 years is when I was like actually trying to get into Nas. Where I'm like starting to appreciate him more like as an artist, and as someone that makes like really great fucking music. You know what I mean? Because like around middle school and high school when I was like in the point of my life where I'm trying to get into hip hop and just trying to like I like started like loving to listen to music in general, just for fun. Nas was like the one artist that like I like couldn't get into for some reason, and it's not because I thought that his like that his shit was trash. You know what I mean? Like I think he made a lot of great music. You know, like my favorite fucking Nas song will always be "Surviving the Times." You know that fucking song is beautiful. It's like, you know, it's real. It's raw. It's like that will always be my favorite Nas song. You know, no matter what anyone tells me. But it's like besides like that song, and you know, obviously, you know, "The World Is Yours." You know, I couldn't get into him that much. You know, like I always like had mad like I always had mad respect for him because, you know, he was like the voice for those who didn't have a voice, pretty much. Like this man grew up in like really like tough times in New York. You know, like he like talks about it a lot in his music, and it's like, you know, I always appreciated that he, like, you know, was like an advocate for like the ones who are lost, for the ones that feel that they're fuck ups, for the ones that feel like they're doomed from the start. You know, like people who are struggling right now, and people who are seen as just like, you know, as just like a menace, or like, you know, irrelevant to society. You know, I feel like they look at Nas, and, you know, they see somebody like them who fucking like who made it, pretty much. He was like someone who blew up, someone who like achieved his dreams, someone who is like who is like a role model. And it's like, you know, at the time when, you know, not a lot of like many like young people had anyone to look up to, it was like, you know, Nas was like pretty much like somebody who like inspired a lot of people. You know, he definitely inspired J. Cole. You know, I know J. Cole is a really like big popular rapper, and, you know, I'm pretty sure I heard J. Cole said that, you know, Nas was like one of his favorite rappers. So yeah, like I definitely appreciate all the influence that Nas had. It's just that I don't know, his music was just something I like really couldn't get into that much. And, you know, until like these past 2 years is when I was like starting to get more and more into his like into his shit. And, like, you know, I like started to like realize that he's a pretty like important like person in hip hop. You know, he's very iconic. He's really talented. And, you know, I think this album specifically, the Lost Tapes 2, is pretty much like it sold me. Like I fucking love Nas, you know. Um, so about the Lost Tapes 2. So pretty much it's a 16 track album, an hour long album, and it contains unreleased tracks from I believe it's four albums. So from the Hip Hop Is Dead album from 2006, I believe, and then from the Untitled album from 2008, and then the Life Is Good album from 2012, and it even contains unreleased tracks from last year's album produced by Kanye West called, is it called Nazar? I think it's how you pronounce that name. I believe it's Nazar. So yeah, from those four albums, and boy, are they a fucking journey. First of all, if you've been watching me for a while, you would know just how like important production value is to me. Like, you know, anyone can write the rhymes and can, like, you know, like say like all these stories and whatever. But like to me, like the first thing I look at is production value, and let me tell you, the production value in this fucking album is so fucking great. You know, considering that it has like tracks produced by Kanye, The Alchemist, fucking Swiss Beats. It's like, you know, that roster itself is like, you know, is people that Nas has like worked with many times. And, you know, I feel like if Nas really wanted to, he could take all three of them and just fucking like make a completely like new album, like in general. You know, like I feel like a Nas album with Kanye, Swiss Beats, and The Alchemist fucking like all together producing. It's like I feel like that would be like a really dope ass Nas album. Um, so, you know, like definitely great collaborators, great production, great producers. Sorry. Um, and so, you know, even though Nas is like, you know, obviously working with a lot of like familiar people that he's like been working with before, you know, for quite a while, he has shown and proven a lot of like promise in and you know like not just himself, but he has really like proven, you know, how like, you know, he's been like pushing himself more as an artist, you know, because he like it, pretty much he experiments with a lot of like different shit on this album, and it's like honestly it honestly sounds really fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, you know, like there are certain songs where, you know, he's like rapping over like old school beats and all that shit, you know, there are other songs where he's like, where he's like rapping and like singing and like keeping in pace, like with like a jazz sort of sound. Anyone that heard the To Pimp a Butterfly album by Kendrick Lamar, like that kind of jazz pretty much. And he even like shares like some like personal stories. Like obviously he talks about um the controversial relationship that he's had with his baby mama. I know that it was like a really like rough relationship, and it probably still is. And he even like takes the time to like talk about you know and just like reminisce on the whole like Jay-Z and Nas beef. I know like that was like one of the biggest like beefs in hip hop. Nas and Jay-Z like fucking going at each other. Like I wouldn't say he was like apologizing for it. He like it was like a big moment in his life, of him like beefing with a very like like big artist in hip hop. And it's like just pretty much like reminiscing on like how like he's done in his like a rap career so far. He's been in the game for like over 20 years now, I believe. And his first album, Illmatic, was a fucking like masterpiece. And like it's really like inspiring to see that he is still like he is still fucking making a lot of like great shit. At only like 45. I think he's like in his 40s now. But like in his 40s now, he is still like considered like such a great artist. He's like working with like the modern day rappers. He's working with a lot of like OGs as well. It's just really inspiring to see that like in his 40s, he like Nas is still making a lot of like great shit, a lot of great albums that people like can't wait to hear from him. I think my favorite track on this album is probably either Beautiful Life or War Against Love. I think War Against Love is like a fucking like such a deep fucking like poetic like song. That's what I really appreciate about Nas. It's like he says he raps, and he raps and like says all his like everything he has to say in like such a poetic way. And it's like it's like very powerful. It's very inspiring. Like it's very like motivational. It touches a lot of people's hearts. And like I think War Against Love is like it is like the best song in that fucking album. And although Nas is like experimenting with a lot of like different shit. He does have like a lot of that like original like flow, that original like recipe that past fans have like known and loved from the beginning. There are like, I want to say there are 3 tracks on the album where he like raps, so where he says a lot of like clever bars and a lot of like amazing like amazing like lyricism on 3 tracks. He raps over like modern day fucking boom bap raps. And those 3 tracks are actually not produced by Kanye or Swiss Beats or The Alchemist. They're actually produced by, I think his name is Status Selecta, Pete Rock, and even fucking RZA from the Wu Tang. So it's honestly, like I said, production value in the album is really fucking good. And it makes it makes like this album fucking like worth fucking listening to. It's an hour long. I know people are like, they don't like to listen to an hour long album, but I promise you this one is fucking worth it. To anyone that has been a big like OG like fucking Nas fan for a long ass time, like I think you would really fucking enjoy this one. you know it's nostalgic. It's something new at the same time. It's just everything that you would expect from Nas when you hear that he is showing us some fucking unreleased tracks. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I really had to say. So hope you guys enjoyed my review. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram down below. As always, DM me for request. Go ahead and follow Nas on Instagram down below. His new album, The Lost Tapes 2, is out now. Go listen to it if you haven't already. I promise you, you will fucking enjoy it. And with that being said, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to stay happy.
Barbados, Bahamas, Grenada, the wars against love, we under attack.